G'day viewers, my name's Graham Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world, and lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists do what they do. G'day viewers and welcome to Colour in Your Life in New Zealand. Now the team and I have come over to New Zealand. We're going to be spending a couple of weeks here and we're circumnavigating the South Island of New Zealand to get some of the great artists of New Zealand onto the show. We're going to have a fantastic time and as you can see, look at this country. It's just amazing. So we're going to wake our way all the way around the bottom of the South Island and see some of these incredible people. So come along for the ride. It's going to be fantastic. Well, hi viewers, welcome back to Colour in Your Life. We are in a little town called Alexandra in the area of Otago in the South Island of New Zealand, and I'm with a gentleman called Mr. Nigel Wilson. Nigel?
How do you do, Graham?
Welcome to the show.
Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful artist. Nigel is an extremely well-known artist across New Zealand, and after reading your bio, 47 shows.
That's right.
You don't get bored real easy, do you?
No, hard at work.
I think it's incredible. But Nigel paints the landscape and paints some really quite dynamic paintings. Obviously been doing it for quite some time, very, very well known. How would you describe your work? I mean, you know, what place would you put yourself into?
Graham, I think I'd put my painting style in an expressionist, contemporary style.
It's very dynamic, and you use
vital.
Yeah,
a lot of energy.
Yeah,
I paint with a lot of energy. I walk back and forth a lot. I don't sit down painting. Yeah, it's full on.
I noticed even in the distance that you'll obviously see during the show is that Nigel's got the greatest distance between palette and canvas that I think I've ever seen. I mean, he must do 50 miles just painting one canvas.
It's good exercise.
Absolutely, yes. It looks amazing. So, but we're going to work on a piece today that is very much of part of the area, and obviously New Zealand being as beautiful as it is. What is the area that we're working on today?
It's a theme of mine which is very local. It's called Willow on Clutha, and the Clutha is the river that runs between Alex and Clyde, and right out to Wanaka, which is its outlet. And the willow at this time of year change colour. At this time of year they're red, they go through yellow, back to green. I've based this work, body of work, on the willow trees along the Clutha.
Okay, it's just a beautiful, beautiful area. So well, let's make a start. I'm going to fire some more questions at Nigel as we go through this today because it's going to be very, very interesting. Beautiful place. I mean, some shots of this area is magnificent and the fall colours, it's just extraordinary. But let's get stuck into our piece for today and we'll see what we can create.
Good.
Okay,
fine.
Good stuff.
Away.
Okay, this is an incredible palette. It's a giant piece of glass, isn't it?
Yes, it's our old dining table.
So how do you feel about that?
No, we have a new one.
Okay, yeah, right. Well, part of, as you can see, the size of Nigel's palette, and he sort of moves back and forth quite a lot, is that obviously he really gets stuck into his tubes quite well. So every so often we've got to sort of squeeze those into a better spot. But you just clean this off, do you?
Scrape it off, yes, every day, because the medium dries it out.
Yeah.
Just scrape it off. Big palette, big brushes, big painting.
Oh, and that really gets right down to the rest of the stuff, does it? That's pretty cool.
People really get fascinated with my palette for some reason.
Is that palette for sale? Yeah, you're sort of not going to be taking that one outside to do plein air. Yeah.
No,
Not at all.
No, I'm not wheeling it out. It's on wheels actually, so I can wheel it around the studio.
Oh, so there's a couple of different stages that you go through.
Well, I can scrape it right back to the glass.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sensational, ready to go.
I'm using quite a limited palette at the moment. It doesn't apply to other paintings necessarily, but I'm using red, cadmium red, Indian yellow,
Okay.
cobalt blue, sapphire green for the water,
Okay.
Prussian blue, or it's a dark blue.
Okay.
So you choose your palette. So I'm laying out my palette, choosing what colours I'm going to use. Black's good at the moment.
Okay.
Some black out. Because I use paint quite thinly,
So what do you got there?
that's a medium, number 1 AES medium.
So why in comparison over others do you use the Art Spectrum one?
Oh, I've always used AES oil paint.
Yeah.
It's a nice, it's got a lot of pigment in the tube.
Okay.
Suits my needs.
Okay.
I thin it out anyway, so
That's with the medium.
with number 1 medium, but with the pigment, the strong pigment, it works well. If you thin it out, it's still got a lot of pigment in it.
Obviously, you're just sort of trying to get at that buttery consistency.
I am, yeah. Well, less than butter really.
Yeah.
It's, I suppose you might call
Creamy.
it creamier. That yellow is an Indian yellow, and when you put white
look
on
at that.
it goes all yellows. You
Wow.
know, you can get a rich yellow, you can get an ochre yellow
It's fantastic,
with it.
isn't it?
It's really nice.
Oh, it's amazing.
Cadmium red,
Yeah.
very expensive, but it's very good mixer. Naples yellow, which is just a utility colour. You can mix that into mixer.
Okay.
Quite nice with everything. The sapphire, which is a very rich blue-green.
Isn't it?
The blue is a cobalt blue. Mix that with red and you get a soft mauve.
So why, I mean, a lot of artists don't use black, but you're okay with it, are you?
I use it at the moment. Black, you could use Prussian blue or you know French ultramarine and burnt sienna is the most common one, but black is a nice abstract colour. Go straight to black, why muck around. It mixes well with reds to a dark brown. Mixes well with blue to a dark blue, and that's what I'm looking for. Really.
Okay.
Put a bit of red in there, a yellow, sorry, and you get that. Look at that, all the intermixes. So it pays just to, while you're doing this, to try a few intermixes, just to think about what colours you can actually apply to the canvas.
Sure. I'll step out of the way so that Nigel can get on with this, but as you can see, it's a really fascinating setup that he's got here. But now the most interesting part is the distance that this guy's going to travel to get to that canvas. So I'm going to get out of the way and let you do what you need to do.
Thanks, Graham.
Okay.
So we'll just get something drawn in. This has been the basis of the composition all along. It's the trees, the water and the sky and the hill, which is the hill at Clyde. This is the Clutha.
Yeah.
And we're going to have the trees on that side. I've already prepared the second stage, so we'll be looking at that later.
Sure.
So I'm going to get a coat of paint on that.
You don't worry about sealing the charcoal, it's just, you just use that as a guideline, but you're not worried about if it sort of bleeds into your paint at all?
It's just a guideline.
Okay.
I'm going to paint over it.
Okay.
A big brush.
Yeah, and I've noticed that your brushes are quite sizable brushes too.
They are. Sometimes they're house brushes. This
Yeah.
is just a utility brush, which is quite good. I'm just dipping it in turpentine, odourless solvent in this case. And of course, we're just going to scrub it in, seal the canvas a bit, explain the basis of the painting. I hate painting on a white canvas. I like to have something to paint on, it gives it depth too. This is a mix of raw umber and cobalt blue.
Okay. It's very physical. You're almost an art athlete.
I'm an art athlete.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
There should be events for it.
Yeah.
So that's just a quick process.
Yeah.
I've sealed the canvas. When it's dry, it's good to go. So mixture of blue, red, Prussian blue, as long as it's dark.
Yeah.
That's Prussian blue and red, and that gives a very nice darker. These trees will be reflecting in the water.
Sure.
Classic Monet composition.
Yeah, but you really push the paint into the canvas. You just don't paint it, do you?
I am.
Yeah, it's great.
Get it in. I'm just going to do a bit of this to just as a guideline for the next stage.
Yeah.
And it gives a bit of texture to what will be over the top.
Wow.
I could even put a little bit more red in there for the willows.
Just sort of trying to pick up those autumn colours, eh?
What I'm thinking, this one is actually a stage in the evening where the colours are muted. The sky is peaking those pinks and yellows. There'll be a light source coming through it, strong light source coming through it.
Sure.
I think getting a light source coming through your painting is very important. Most artists would agree. I've got enough there just to let it dry off now, and then I've got something to make the painting on.
Okay. All right, so we'll let that one go and we'll put the other one up then.
We will.
Sensational. Okay, now this is the second stage of what you prepared.
Yes.
And obviously it looks a little different, but it's still the same subject matter. I can see, you can see the reflections in the water. So where do we go from here?
Where we go from here, Graham, is to make the painting on top. We have to have an idea about what we're going to do and what colours we're going to use. I'll start light and then I'll go to dark. I'll do the skies and the water, white through yellow, red, grey, and then I'll work on the trees. Right, we're going to put that brush aside and we'll start with white. The other thing about walking back and forth is that you can see what you're doing from a distance, which is very helpful as you go.
I think those broad brush strokes create their own atmosphere as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But as part of what I say, the energy, big brush, a lot of oomph.
Yeah.
It's not so important to get everything right.
Yeah.
It's more important just to paint with feeling and describe the lights and the darks, the contrasts with colour. You can always go back to it and tidy it up. Next colour, I always like this pink colour, which is basically cadmium red and white.
So do you get a lot of colours like that in the skies in this area?
The skies in New Zealand are wonderful. They really light up. You haven't seen one yet?
Oh, I saw it the other night when we were down at Glenorchy, some pinks over the mountains which were just quite beautiful.
Yeah.
That looks great.
It might seem a pretty easy composition, but in actual fact, it takes a lot of work to just to get it looking absolutely
yeah,
the way it should be.
it's very, very instinctual in your approach.
Yes.
Yeah, you sort of you really paint from the heart.
Yeah, I'm intuitive. Huh?
Yeah.
An intuitive sort of painter. It's comes with practice. You know?
Yeah. I mean, just watching you work like this, I mean, I'm sort of thinking, God, this would just be fantastic for people. But you do teach as well, don't you?
Yes, I do some teaching for REAP, which is the Rural Education Program here in Alexandra. So if anyone's interested in putting their name down for classes, it's REAP, REAP in Alexandra. And the last class I taught was a plein air painting class, and we went out into the field and painted on top of Alexandra, and it was a good day, 8 of us, and it was good.
That sounds fantastic. I mean, obviously very educational. I think, particularly with Nigel's style, incredibly enjoyable as well.
As I say, I paint in sessions, so I call this a session.
Yeah.
So it might last for half an hour, it might last for an hour or two, and it's fairly exhausting, yes. So
yeah, I can
work for like this for 4 or 5, 6 hours a day, but at max. And my usual day is about 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. And I work on several things at once in that time.
Yeah, I was going to ask
because of oil
that,
paint, you know, you leave it to dry and then you work on something else, and I've always got 5 or 6 on the go at one time. And it helps if you've got a couple of these going, because the colours and the ideas bounce off each other, which is nice too. Right, now I think at this stage, while this is resting, and I do like these drips, so I'll just leave those, but that I'll work on the darker bits, the trees.
Okay.
And that's a nice colour, which is more Prussian than the cadmium peeking through, so maybe I'll stick with that, but just go over it. It's a mix of red, orange, and yellow. We'll put that on the trees back there.
Look at that.
These trees, you've got to look at what they're doing and understand that where the tones are. They're lighter at the top where the light's hitting them, and darker at the water edge, so that you have to express that sort of thing to bring some reality to it.
Yeah.
And remembering that it's a certain time of day, which is sundown.
It's the total exuberance to actually approaching the canvas like that.
Yeah.
There's not too many people that are around that would just go, I'm going to do this. They'd be sort of pondering over the first stroke.
Yes.
And you've created the landscape already.
Well, it's not the way to paint is to put all that aside and try and feel confident. Try and paint with confidence, knowing that you can always fix it up or go over it. It's not really important because it's only a stage. And it's a nice idea when you're painting, if you're using your colour, to spread it around your canvas and other places, because it actually pulls your painting together. And even if it's not in a landscape that you're looking at, but it does work in a painting which is not a landscape, it's actually what it is itself. It has to be more than just a landscape or a painting picture of a landscape. It has to have a life of its own as a painting, with colours and all the rest. I'm trying to do these in 3 stages, but when I paint other landscapes like Matukituk, I build it up and I go in and out of pronounced colour, and I keep going intuitively until it works. And if it doesn't work, I don't stop. I keep going at it until something comes out of it that you say, I like that.
Okay.
And you can finish with that and you can leave it alone. But sometimes it takes a long time, and sometimes it happens very quickly. And that's the nature of it, and you just have to get used to that.
All right, so that looks amazing. I think it's fantastic what you've done, but you want to move on to the next stage now of developing that idea.
Yes. What I'm going to do now is do some branches up here as the final touches to this painting, which in all respects I think is probably complete. I might just brighten up the trees a little bit, the willow trees. It's not highly detailed, it's quite rough, but it's raw. And I like that, actually. I don't like paintings that are too finished. I like the raw and vital look of a painting. So for this I'm using Prussian, bit of red.
So obviously being as well known and well collected as you are, mate, you've actually got buyers from all over the world that have purchased your work, and you're telling me that there was a Saudi sheik.
Bought a picture of Queenstown.
With the snow.
From the top, with the snow and the city lights. It was at night, took it back to his Saudi Arabia.
So where do you reckon that's hanging right now?
Probably in a tent in the desert.
No air conditioning, but that'll do. What galleries are you actually in?
Apart from my home gallery here in Alexandra.
Yeah.
Art by the Sea Gallery in Devonport, Auckland. The Art Bay Gallery, Queenstown. Wanaka Fine Arts Gallery, Wanaka. Hullabaloo Art Space in Cromwell, and the Moray Gallery in Dunedin. You've
got a magnificent property with a gallery on it as well. I mean, obviously that comes with the trappings of being a successful artist. So let's wander down and have a look at the gallery as well, mate.
Sure.
That'd be great, thank you.
Yeah. We've been at this property for 14 years. We've done a lot of work. I've built the whole of the top garden, which we call the piazza. We use it for entertaining, a glass of wine with friends. The gallery is 4 years old now, and I get people up there, tours. It's a lovely spot. It's just a lovely house and garden, and very peaceful and very quiet.
And I think in looking at your work, and obviously the way that you've built the garden with the autumn colours, you know, I think there's a reflection of who you are as a man in your home as much as there is in your work as an artist.
Yes, well of course I have to thank my beautiful wife, Janice. She does a lot of work in the garden.
Okay guys, great day with a very, very talented man. Nigel?
Graham.
Thank you so much. Been amazing. Without a doubt, I think Nigel's one of those guys that's an extreme artist. You move around that canvas, there's more than I've seen anybody at all.
Nice of you to say so.
Thank you, Belle. Your website is?
NigelWilsonArt.com.
Okay, so if you want to see some of Nigel's work and go in there and see some of the fantastic stuff he's got, head into Nigel's website. You can also come into colourinayourlife.com.au, see all the amazing artists that we've got in there, our Facebook page as well, which is obviously Colour in Your Life. We're going to continue our great journey around New Zealand. We've had a fantastic time with amazing people like you. Just been so fabulous to see the beauty of the scenery and the talent over here. It's incredible. But till we see each other again, remember, make sure you put some colour in your life, guys. See you now. Bye.
Ooh.